Hey everybody, we are live. It is Monday, August 3rd already. Larry's with us. I'm just going to throw a couple things at you, Larry. One person's asking your opinion on who vice president for Biden will be and why he's waiting another week to announce. I had heard that the DNC wants Elizabeth Warren. We can deal with that afterwards. But before Larry starts anything, he's 2 days behind on the meds he's supposed to take. Remember, now that he's out of the hospital, he does not have the money to cover his medication. So he needs $250 today. The person we thought was going to help out at the end of the week hasn't been able to do that yet. So Chris, if you are listening, I'm going to put my phone number up. So text me and let's find out, when that's going to be available so I can let Larry know. And so I'm going to go back to putting up his PayPal. There you go. So, Larry, the 100-day siege that somebody was talking about last week was a report that Millie Weaver did on Alex Jones' show. And it's talking about radicals coming into the suburbs. They want to go to politicians' homes and chant "No justice, no sleep." And they are expecting high school, college girls with hammers to attack and dismantle America. So that's what that's all about.
Yeah. Look, I don't doubt they have come across, guys, they've come across something that they think works, which is anybody that steps up, then they'll organize a protest outside of their home and just shout and raise hell, mess up the neighborhood, scare the family, and people cow down to it. People cowered down, except for that couple in Missouri where they came out with their guns. This is another case where we have to stand up against these forms of intimidation. Now, I was extremely disappointed yesterday when the NBA had a game. I normally don't watch it anyway, but I saw that they were playing a game, and I just wanted to see how they were handling the stands, with the people in the stands. Was there nobody there? Was there somebody there? But before I could check that out, the team that was in the tan uniforms, I can't remember their name of the team, but they had all of these Black Lives Matter slogans on the back of their jersey. They had equal justice, etc., etc., etc. Now, folks, let me tell you, the dreaded word is being called racist. Now, you and I might think they pulled that trick well too long, and it shouldn't have any effect now. I mean, they just use it every day on anybody. But they still do. And you will be surprised at the effort they're fixing to make right before the election. The effort they're fixing to make it out that anybody that goes in and votes for Trump, you're a racist. And there are going to be a lot of people that don't want to go vote. They're probably not going to vote for Biden, but they don't want to vote because they don't want to be called a racist. It scares them. It scares people. It's funny that these minorities are always claiming, bully, that people are bullying this and they're being bullied out of this, that, and the other. And then look at what they're doing. They're bullying and shaming people.
Larry, what we need to remember is so often when you stand up against the bully, they will tend to back down because they're scared too, but they are empowered by our fear and get obnoxious with it.
That's right. There should have never been a day. Never should there have been a day when the statues and monuments were taken down. They shouldn't have been.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an example of how leadership in these cities or communities buckle down to being racist. You know, if they left Robert E. Lee's statue up, they're racist. And they didn't want to do that. They're afraid to do that. Afraid of the word. Now listen, these things I'm telling you are things that you must pass on to people you know. People you know that generally have the same political persuasion as you do. Because they're going to attack everybody when it comes time to vote. And they're going to make you do some bad soul searching if you're not careful. Because you don't want to be called a racist.
You know, Larry, that is why while you were gone from mid-April until, a week ago when you rejoined the program here, I have spoken day after day after day about no fear. It is important for us not to cower in fear because that empowers the devil and the demonic activity that's going on. That's the spiritual preachy word for it. But
right.
It's fear. Fear is not helping us. It's hurting us. And we have got to be brave and, be strong and very courageous. It says that over and over and over and over again in the scripture. So 365 times, no fear.
Yeah. Now, when you add to the racist card, then we've got this virus that's running throughout our country. Now, guys, it's bad. It is bad. I'm not going to make out like it isn't. But it's just there. It's here. And they can take that and put a ton of blame on President Trump. A ton of blame. Now, I don't know. I don't think any of you know. When this thing was heading this way, I don't think anybody, including me, had any idea of what it was going to do. We didn't. All President Trump could do was go to the people he thought that should know what to do, ask them, and follow their instructions. You know what he did? Some of it is true, but some of it isn't. Consequently, they're giving you all of these figures of how many people are catching this disease, and they give you a quote each day of how many this day, 50,000 this day were, developed this virus. Now, folks, listen to me, and listen tight. The reason the number of people getting the virus is going up so radically is because we are testing more people now.
Mm-hmm.
You get it?
Yep.
If we test more people, then guess what? We're going to find more people that have the virus in them. Maybe it's not developed, but it's in them. But the way they present it in the news media is like every day that there is 50,000 people have come down with the virus, they make it sound like people are coming down with the virus, like you and I think of coming down with a cold, coming down with the virus, and then they're blaming it on Trump. That is not true. It's not true. President Trump is doing what he should do. Maybe mistakes were made in the beginning because of the people he counseled with. But he's still, the buck stops here with him, so he's still to blame for the mistakes made, if any, at the beginning. But for doing it. He accelerated the testing to find a vaccine. And he's got all of these people these labs that are looking for the vaccine. He's got all of these labs working night and day, and all gloves are off. Get a vaccine as fast as possible. And he's done away with the 5 or 10 year moratorium that any new drug, would have to face. So once again, he's done the right thing, but he doesn't get any credit for it. As a matter of fact, he gets credit for the fact that 50,000 people today came down with it. And it's all a lie. Now, to the question in the beginning, who is Biden going to pick as his running mate? And why is he not bringing it, going ahead and telling everybody? Well, let me tell you why that is. His campaign team, I assure you, have noticed that if Biden don't get out much and don't talk much and don't do anything, you know what? He kind of don't fall down in the polls. As a matter of fact, as they would make you believe, he goes up in the polls. Now, I was tickled the other day when I saw a blurb from Tucker Carlson. And I couldn't believe what Tucker Carlson was saying. But he was talking about don't believe the polls. And he said, because they are canvassing a disproportionate number of quote-unquote Democrats versus Republicans. So, of course, the poll is going to be jaded. For the first time, somebody is telling the truth. For the first time. And that's true. And all of us, each and every one of us, we're going to be hammered with. We're going to be hammered day in and day out with the new polls. New polls showing Trump dropping 3 or 4% or whatever. It's not true. It is not true. Most all of these polling companies, while I do not know some of the ones today, I was very intimate with the ones in days past during Clinton's time. And I know what these professional polling organizations can do. And exactly what they do is they are passing out numbers to the calling people, the people making the phone calls. They give them a sheet of numbers every day. And they're to call these numbers every day blind. They don't know who's behind the numbers. But what the people that are putting the phone numbers together for the callers to call, what they do is they've got the Democratic list. People all over, the number of people that they know are Democrats or have members of the Democratic Party. So they make sure that the phone calling is around 70%. Write that number down, 70% that they're calling Democrats. And that assures them and assures the people that are paying them that Trump loses. You see? It's the way it's done. We have got a battle on our hands. Now, I'm fixing to tell y'all something that I never, ever wanted to tell you. Never wanted to tell you this. Our future is very insecure right now. Very insecure. As a matter of fact, I don't know, turn out at the rate of what?
At the rate of what?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Gary was leaving and I was trying to get Rosie not to bark.
Okay.
But anyway, we're in trouble. And what's got to happen now, folks, I'll just say it. You need to arm up. You really do. You need to arm up, and you need to do at least some minimal training. Because, folks, what's happening, and it's not because of a revolution or anything like that, what's happening is every day it's publicized that, like Chicago, the gangs and stuff, and then they're talking about getting rid of the police. That is empowering the people that will come and rob you. And every day, you know, you hear of another place, town, city, county, state, in some cases. Every day you hear of another one that is not arresting people.
You know, it was interesting in Austin, Texas over the weekend. One day there was a big protest in support of the police. And the next day, Antifa and Black Lives Matters moved in. But the Governor Abbott, did give the police permission to shut it down.
Good. Well, there are very few governors today, even Republicans, that have the courage to do what Abbott did because they're going to be called a racist.
Well, he's done a lot of things that are against recently what we want him to do. So it was really nice to see him get put on a backbone.
I know. But folks, we're getting near. And I can't tell you who I've talked to, but Mary Ellen knows, the boss. And words were, you know, people need to arm up. You've got to arm up. Because as long as there is confusion, and I'm talking about just simply confusion, as to whether or not people coming in your home and robbing you, beating you up or whatever, as long as the temptation's there that they might not even be prosecuted, you're really left to your own defense. You understand me? You're left in many cases in many parts of the country. I don't know where you are, but in many parts of the country right now, to be frank, you're left to your own defense of your property and your lives. Arm up. Now what Antifa and Soros and Black Lives Matter, now get it straight. Black lives do matter, as do white lives matter, as do brown lives matter, yellow lives matter, whatever. Yes, all lives matter. But the Black Lives Matter t-shirt people, that's an organization run by George Soros.
It's a communist organization.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm glad you said that, because what Soros is doing in America right now, he's doing what used to be done years ago. The one thing you did not want to be called was a communist. You did not. What was his name? Not MacArthur, but anyway, there was a United States senator that just anybody, they called them communists. And they got investigated. Well, that's here today, except instead of the word communist, Soros is using that same pattern, and he's using the word racist. So with all of this, Mary Ellen, let's open up the chatty thing, and if anybody has any questions, go ahead and get them in.
Yeah, we've got a few.
Now, let me say this, by the way, folks. Relative to the 250 that I've got to have, please, I need it now, bad. I'm no longer on the treatment program that I was on before that was so costly to keep going. As a matter of fact, that's why I went down. That's why I was in a coma for 3 months. That's why everything in my body shut down. My kidneys, my colon, just everything shut down. Got close to dying, told my family 3 times, told my wife and daughter 3 different times, get your affairs together because you won't make it through the night. Those were rough days, trust me. And what I have to go through now is rough. But every day now, I have to take something like 18 different pills until it's all healed over. And I'm not supposed to get behind on any of them. So anyway, that's why I've got to have it. But no longer are we going to have, raise $1,000 a day or anything like that. Those days, thank God, are finished at least for a while. Now, what do you got in the way of questions?
Okay, if Biden wins, do you think people will realize their mistake or just blame Trump for the fall of our nation?
If Biden wins, there'll be all of us will know we failed. We failed. And all of us will see the country go almost immediately into this socialist form of government. It's going to happen. So there won't be any questions, there won't be any blame. We'll know who to blame, and who to blame is us. And I know some of you are saying, well, us, if I go vote, then I've done my part. No. Voting is not all you can do to try to save this nation. It's not. Now, it may be talking to people around you. It may be walking up and down the streets. But remember this, voting is not, I repeat, is not all you can do to save your country. Now, what do you
got? If Trump uses the military to vaccinate, is that going to be forced or will it be voluntary?
Is he going to use the military to what?
To vaccinate. To inject the vaccine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows at this point. The only thing everybody knows is even if there is a vaccine developed, how in the world can that vaccine be distributed to the population? And then there will be people that don't want the vaccine, and I don't know what the rule's going to be yet.
Okay, I don't want to discuss it online right now, but I do have some thoughts that at some point we need to talk about regarding the vaccine because of what I know a lot of people in this audience feel about it. But I don't think now is the time to discuss it.
No, and Mariella, let me say to everybody, please, don't buy in to what you're being told somehow is in the vaccine. Is it bird poop? Is it dog hair? Is it the plague? Don't think about that yet, because nobody, not a one of you in this audience, including me, know what's in the vaccine because it hasn't been invented yet. Now, there are some drugs they're using presently for people, cases, but and you may know of the structure of that. That's fine. The vaccine to eradicate the virus. You don't know what's in it. And anybody that tells you they know what's in it's lying. Anybody. Your mama is lying. It's not true. Nobody knows what's in that vaccine because there is no vaccine as yet. I'm sorry, Mary Ellen.
No, that's good to hear. Frankly suggests, I think it was Frankly suggested that the NDAA now includes red flag laws, especially against the military.
Who is that?
The NDAA, I forgot what that is. It's one of these treaty deals. That it includes red flag laws, especially against the military. In other words, to block them from owning guns.
No, that's not true. That is something that will be coming if Biden wins, but right now, that is not true.
Okay. I mean, when I worked in a psychiatric hospital, I saw those red flag laws that people who were checked out were they had in their record they're not allowed to own a gun anymore.
Well, yeah, let me tell you where that started, folks. That started when Obama put, the fact that in this, when you go to fill out your application, and if you've been deemed crazy or nuts or whatever, then you cannot own a firearm. Or a store can't sell you one for sure. Now, the point was, in that day, anybody that came back from Iraq or Afghanistan technically could be suffering from PTSD. So that would mean they wouldn't be able to get a gun. But that has been put down. Military coming back from Iraq, coming back from wherever, can purchase firearm unless they are being treated clinically for some, problem with PTSD or whatever.
So in other words, if they're being treated, then they can still own firearms?
Well, they can still own them, but if they go to a store to try to buy them and they fill out the application, likely is not, if they're being treated clinically, you got it, clinically, if that shows up, then they won't be able to get one.
Okay.
Nobody's going to take the ones they've got, but they won't be able to get one.
All right. So you're saying that when they do the background check, they would see that they're being treated.
Right.
Okay.
And that's an if. I mean, I don't know that every background check can pick up where a soldier's being treated clinically. I don't even know if that's information that can get out. But that's the only reason they would not be allowed to purchase a weapon.
Okay. Is Soros our biggest enemy right now?
Yes. Well, we've got two gigantic enemies tearing us apart. One is Soros and what he's doing internally. And the other is China. And China is attacking us. China is draining us of jobs. China is draining us of technologies.
Yeah, especially when they have infiltrators in our technological research, and then they can steal the research that we have paid for, and then they can go ahead and don't have to recoup research costs because they took it.
That's right. And then, think of the entrepreneurs that are out there and invent something, and then they start making it and selling it. If it's a hot item, within a couple of months, China will send somebody in buy one, and then they'll take it, reverse engineer it, and then they'll start making it at half the price of the one here. That's because they do not honor our fair trade agreements that we already have with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, the reason they're getting so aggressive is twofold. Number one, because Trump is slamming them hard. And the other reason is they see a window of opportunity in this country. They see us being torn apart and weakened. And yes, we're being weakened. One day soon, at the rate we're going, and I'm speaking of very soon, the blacks in your community, they're all going to be a part of this social injustice organization. And they're going to build up. I mean, they're going to bond together. And when they do, we've got trouble. And this is what Soros knows. You see, we've got George Soros. The problem with George Soros is he's not trying to bust up this country so he can make money on something. He's busting up the country simply because that's been his commitment since 20 years ago, I guess. He just wants America destroyed. For whatever reason, I don't know the in-depth part of it, but he wants us destroyed, and he's doing everything in his power to do it. What else you got?
Well, I mean, we know that the New World Order can't happen till the U.S. is destroyed, so he's probably part of the plan to bring in the global government. The next question, will the debate still happen?
Well, you have to understand Biden's team don't want Biden out. And they do not, under any circumstances, want Biden in a debate with Trump. They know the outcome of that. They do. They know the outcome. They know Trump will walk all over him, and Biden will look like the fool that he is. Now, can Biden and the Democrats just say we refuse to debate and everybody go along with it? Then yeah, they can refuse to do it. There won't be any debates. But I've got a feeling, just a feeling, that even some of the liberal media, they're not going to buy into no debate. So, as of this moment, I still believe there will be at least 2 debates. And I know the administrations, I know this for a fact, their campaign team, they're trying to force 3. But I was told there will be 2.
Trump's campaign or Biden's campaign?
Trump's. I got very little insight from Biden.
That's what I thought. Okay. Somebody's asking again about Biden's vice president, wondering what the holdup is, and suggesting that Susan Rice probably won't want to be vice president because she's holding out for a Supreme Court appointment.
Don't know. Can't tell you that.
Yeah, we got to watch that.
I tell you that.
We got to watch that speculation when we don't have any backing.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think the media probably has, for some reason, I guess they think they've got it nailed down to 5 different women, but I don't even trust that. This is the sign of the weakness of Joe Biden. At his age, and his mental capacity today, they have got to team him up with the perfect VP to carry his campaign. You got it? They're the ones that have got to do that. Biden ain't got enough sense to do it. They're the ones that have got to pick the perfect running mate that will carry Biden through this campaign. So I'm not sure anybody knows just exactly yet. Maybe they do. And maybe they're dragging it out just as long as they can, for whatever reason, dragging it out. But I'm telling you, I know what he's got to have for a running mate. The who, I don't know. Okay?
Sorry, I'm laughing at the next question. Is Biden even in charge of his own campaign?
No, he is not. He is not. As a matter of fact, he is just a wax dummy. And that's why he has trouble. He can't take his orders and instructions and follow through with them without messing up. So they're keeping him, watch it, they're embarrassed by the turnout, the times they have tried to get him out to speak, and 20 people show up when Trump's got 20,000. So they've quit that. So think about it. Is there really a Joe Biden? I mean, is there?
Yeah, and somebody's suggesting that if Biden gets in, will it be Obama calling the shots anyway behind the scenes?
I don't know about that, but I'll tell you this, folks. If Joe Biden and his campaign team are afraid to enter into a debate with Donald Trump, do we really want somebody that weak-kneed to be our president? Think about it. What else you got?
Karen suggested that a different Karen, Larry. Karen suggested that Biden is far weaker than Hillary, and Christian is saying, I'm hearing Hillary could be brought in at the last minute as vice president or otherwise.
Don't know. I do not know. She could be brought in at the last minute. She certainly could. Right now, it's still open. When the Democrats have their convention, guess what? They'll look at the numbers and look at Biden being able to win or not being able to win, and they might make a big-time change. They can do it. Whether they will do it, I don't know.
Pam says the DNC will get the questions to Biden with the answers on his teleprompter, and he'll still screw it up.
Yep. That's exactly right. All right, folks, I need the 250. Please help me.
Pam sent something during the show. Chris is calling me. He's supposed to be sending something today. And if anybody can help out, because these meds need to be, refilled and refilled. So hopefully the number is going to drop as he improves. And he got a fabulous report today. Somebody was very impressed with what he managed to do.
Yep.
Now, the ways to donate. Larry's PayPal account is there on the screen, nicholslive@aol.com. That is the fastest and best way to get any money to him. I'm going to flip real quickly here on the screen and put up my cell phone number. If you can't do PayPal, if you're having trouble doing it, you don't want to use it, you can't use it, there are some people who can't. So if you can't and want to donate something, text my cell phone. I will call you back and we will figure something else out. Okay? So I don't have his address up right now, but I can give that to you over the phone. So.
Hey, anybody else got a question or comment?
MW is showing appreciation that Trump is working on lowering the cost of meds, because that's going to help us all with your needs as well, we hope.
As a matter of fact, folks, he's already done that on certain pharmaceuticals and has cut the cost to us, the American citizen, something like 60%. Now, they have not had across the board with all pharmaceuticals, but with some. Give him a second term and watch what happens. Do it. Now, the reason I say this, let me just clear that up. As I have told y'all over and over and over until you don't need to hear me say it again, I will say it again. If Trump wins, it's hard to believe that somebody's going to go in and vote for Donald Trump and then vote Republican either for the incumbent, vote Democrat either for the incumbent or for somebody else. They're not going to do it. Likely as not, if they vote for Trump, they will vote for a Republican in the House and in the Senate. So if he wins, there is a better than 60-70% chance that if he wins, so too will the House turn red. And of course, the Senate will be red, maybe even get stronger. And that's why I say watch him go. Watch Donald Trump go when he has the House and the Senate behind him instead of cutting his throat every time he turns around.
Yeah, those primaries have been very important to try and get the incumbents out, and then for us to really push the new Republican. But I don't know if we've got any. Do we even have any primaries left, Larry, or is the primary season over? So
most are over now. I don't know in every state, but yeah, most are over.
So if we've got a Republican incumbent, we have to get the Republican in because we have to have the Republicans. If we have Republican majority everywhere, there will still be the people like Mitt Romney who are going to cause trouble. But there is more pressure, and tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, but I think there's more pressure that can be applied to the negative Republicans if we can give them the majority. Is that right?
Yeah. If folks, there's always going to be somebody that's against President Trump. But if he wins a second term with the support of the people that he's had, I assure you, most House members that are Republican and most Senate members that are Republican will buckle because they don't want to lose their job. And Trump's following is who they've hooked on to, and they don't want to lose that. So anyway, he gets in. Now, conversely, if Biden gets in, it's going to be hard-pressed for me to believe somebody's going to vote for Joe Biden and then turn around and vote Republican for the Senate or the House. Likely as not, if they vote for Biden, they'll vote Democrat, straight Democrat ticket generally. And that means we lose control of both houses, and you've got Biden, who is being run by the AOCs of the world and the Bernie Sanders of the world, in trouble deep.
Is there something we can do with what's happening with defunding the police? I suggested contacting the mayor and city council and let your voice be known. Anything else?
You can do that. You can do it, but I don't think that'll have much effect. I'm sorry, I just don't. They feel for them to agree to doing something stupid like that, they must be scared to death of the group. In this case, I want to say the black communities. They're scared to death of them. And if they gather against them, they'll get defeated. So we can call on, it's not going to bother them. They can look out and see who they're getting for voters. And think about it, folks. Everybody that gets arrested for stealing, instead of it being a felon, they come in and it's considered a misdemeanor and they leave. All of those people will have their voting rights. So think about that. That's why they're trying to give all prisoners the voting rights, because that's a huge block of votes.
So by moving it from a felon to a misdemeanor, that allows them still to vote. They're just playing so many tricks to just destroy everything. That's why, folks, we can't just sit back anymore. Look, prayer is of course number one, but it is not all we should do. We cannot expect God to do everything if we do nothing. So we have got to get busy in talking. There's no reason that you can't talk at the grocery store when you're paying for your goods. You know, do you realize socialism we're just about to go communist? Do you know what that means? Oh yeah, I think it's, equality for everybody. It's a great job. Do you realize what happened in Venezuela? Yes, everybody's equal at the bottom, and the elite are always going to be elite. They will not come down to our level, and we will not go up to theirs.
By the way, Mary Ellen, I need to say this, and I've been on and have failed, folks. I want to thank you for all your prayers, because there was a time when your prayers pulled me through. There was nothing my body could take anymore. It was over. I was on the machine. I mean, believe in the power of prayer, please, because I'm living proof it still exists. What else you got, Mary Ellen?
That's it. Somebody's saying that the people from Portland and Seattle are now moving to Boise, Idaho. And, they're just going to do this all across the country. Be ready for it to come to your city. And that's why Larry's saying, be careful.
And Mary Ellen, guys, you can't keep moving away from it, because wherever you go, it's going to follow. Stand and resist. Stand and resist. It's not I'm not asking you to go out and stand in a line and carry a stick and get in a fight with the other group of protesters. I'm not asking you to do that. But it would not hurt for the community to see a strong contingent of believers like us that are willing to come out and at least stand up and hold our sides. You can't move away. Wherever you move, they're going to get you. Wherever.
I know that Arkansas is organizing a protest at the governor's mansion later on. I'm hoping I'm home in time for it. At some point later in August. One of the things you can do, just like they had in Austin last weekend, the word was out that we are meeting in support. We're going to gather in support of our police and Blue Lives Matter and support them. So when you hear about something like that, you can certainly get involved in things like that. Take your signs, be out there, put a sign in your window, put a sign in your front yard, put a sign on your car. I know we need to be careful about, what damage we have to deal with, and know your neighbors, but, have conversations with people.
And above all, folks, above all, talk to people continually and support President Trump, and make sure that the people that you have in your circle of people you or talk to, whatever, make sure that they hold firm and vote for President Trump, because every vote will matter. Every vote will. Just tell people the truth. Listen to what I've said here. Everything I've told you today is flat ass the truth. Now, that's the bottom line. It's not sugar-coated in some ways, but it's just the truth. This thing's going to eat us up. This discontent is going to eat us up. Now, I have been told, or I have been asked, do you think this just is like we've had time and time again, just the hot summer, the end of the hot summer, and people get restless, and people, come out and protest and gripe and whatever? No, this is not. This is not. There's no way you can say this is the old standard in, hot summer, everybody goes nuts. There's no way you can say that when in Chicago, kids are going around. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, we're listening.
Okay. Kids are going around and killing people. And it's not whites killing blacks. It's black on black crime. And if we keep allowing it to go on, it's just going to grow. It is. When these groups can go in and set up and get a bunch of people together and then knock the windows out of the stores where they're at and just everybody go in and rip them off with no penalty. Think about it, guys. Then they're just going to keep doing it, and they're just going to move a little further down to the next bunch of outlet stores, whatever, and they're going to break those down, and everybody's going to go in and get their free stuff. Free stuff. It's not free stuff. But in their mind, since the window's broken and everybody else is doing it, they're going to go in and get their free stuff.
And I wish that I remember in Baltimore when they had, was it Freddie Gray? I can't remember the name of the kid in Baltimore that was, that they had that big protest. And then there was this black mother who came out with her purse in hand, and she was beating on the back of her son saying, "What are you doing being part of this? You get home right now." We don't have enough parents doing this, coming in and pulling their kids out of these protests.
Well, I think we're finally seeing, folks, and I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but I think we're finally seeing that there are too many homes in the black community where there's not a father. And so you've got all of these kids being raised up by their mother. And then the mother can't get a job to support them, so they have to draw welfare and all of that. And once you get on that, it's hard to get off. Once you get on it, you're caught. And I think we're seeing what eventually had to happen, and it has. It's trouble.
I was helping a young unwed black mother one time in Maryland until she made this comment. She said, "Well, I'm just going to have another baby because then my welfare will go up and I'll have more money to live on."
That's right. All right, folks. Well, it's nearly done, and so I'm going to go ahead and not push it unless somebody else has got a question. If anybody's got a question, I'll be glad to take it.
Well, there was some comment about people in the streets in Hollywood talking about no pedophilia. When the schools are now going to promote pedophilia as a sexual preference in California, we got it. We Californians, you better start homeschooling.
I mean, any place that does that ain't worth saving. It's just not. All right, guys, thank you. Tomorrow I think I'll be with Jason at 2 and then us at 3.
I thought it was the other way around. We need to verify, Larry.
Okay, maybe I'm with Jason at 3 and us at 2.
Yeah, that's what you told me last week.
That's right. So
we'll be here as usual. And we'll have a short show tomorrow so that you can save your voice and regroup for him.
Okay. Thanks, gang. See ya.
Okay, thanks, Larry. And XRP, I know I didn't say anything about ask him about the blockchain, but I know that's technical stuff that he has not gotten up to speed on yet. So thank you, folks. His PayPal account is there, nicholslive@aol.com, and my phone number 240-499-6729 if you can't do nicholslive@aol.com on PayPal. And it's Christian offered $15, and I asked if anybody can match that. Let's see if we can get a bunch of people to match that, and I'll throw in 15 myself. I can do it. I can do it another way, so I'm not using up my cash for getting home. So things have calmed down here a little bit. We're just waiting for Wednesday at this point. Still getting a few details put together for my dad's memorial service Wednesday. And I'm about to sneeze, so I'm going to say thanks for being here. I got to go. All right. God bless you. Great. Rhonda sent 30, so my 15 means we've got the 30 match. That's awesome. And if anybody can do more, because we got to get to the 250. And Chris, don't forget to call me. Thanks. Bye-bye.